Welcome to PaddyCast. In this episode, we're joined by history-making six-time world champion, six-time world Superbig world champion, Jonathan Rea. So, Jonathan, every guest I have on, I always want to know how they actually get started in their chosen sport.
How did I get started? My dad raced motorbikes all over the place, like all over north and south of Ireland, and so my first memories were just going to watch my dad race. So I wanted to ride too, but you can't ride obviously a road bike when you're 2, 3 years old. So I got a little motocross bike, like a little scrambler. So I started racing myself because I wanted to race and be competitive like him. And then the bug sort of bit me, and I just loved competing and racing all over the place.
Like, you say your dad was a racer there, so obviously it's in your genes. Uh,
Yeah,
and correct me if I'm wrong, I think your dad won, was it the Isle of Man race?
Isle of Man GT, yeah. So that's
Yeah,
like one of the more famous like road races in the world.
yeah.
He won that in 1989, so I've been 2 years old, and but I sort of remember him. I think he retired about 94, but I do remember going to some races and like the Ulster
Yeah.
Grand Prix that takes part at the Dundrod circuit and the Northwest 200. I remember like watching him there and stuff, and really like thinking it was cool, like what Dad did, and I wanted a bit of it. But to be fair, I preferred motocross. I wanted to do motocross because I thought it was cooler sport. But then I got a chance to go road racing in 2002 or three, and then the rest history.
Like as well, not just your dad, but like your granda John. I was told he was one of the
Yeah.
first sponsors of the late great Joy the Up.
So I think that's my dad obviously into it. My granddad had a love for bikes, and he before Joey's career took off when he joined Honda, my grandfather was like one of his a really good friend, but also a sponsor. He sponsored lots of racers. And my dad, he'll grumpily say that my granddad would give everybody else like all his money or pay for stuff, but my dad would get all the junk and the hand me downs, if you like. But my it's a real shame because my grandfather wasn't around very long. I think he passed away 94 as well, 92, 94. So I was still pretty young, and I had very, very vague memories of him. But I know he was pretty mad keen when I was like just a kid, a baby, that I would
Yeah,
ride bikes, much to like my mom's dismay because she never wanted me to ride bikes.
I'm sure.
But yeah, that's that. So yeah, it's sort of genetic. But then you say it's weird with my kids now because they both have bikes, and we love riding, but they're just so into football,
Yeah.
and I was never into football. But I remember I, I remember so clearly riding a bike for the first time, and there's no, even if my mom or dad didn't support me, I'd go and find somebody that did because
Yeah.
it was unreal.
Like I think it was you're a teenager maybe at this stage. You shattered your femur bone.
I my 2004, I went into get it. So on road bikes, the front brake, you do all the braking with the front brake because it's got two massive discs and the rear brake's useless. So I went into this second gear, turn one, at the end of a long straight in Scotland, a track called Knockhill. I pulled my front brake and there was no pressure in it. Like the brake didn't work. The mechanics hadn't connected the brake lines right or whatever. So I'm going into this corner maybe 160 mile an hour with no brakes, and like it was quite a tight corner, so I ended up having to jump, like I ended up jumping off the bike, but I went in straight to the tire wall and broke my leg, and it took 3 operations. over the course of 9 months to get it right because it wasn't healing.
Yeah.
But like not once during that period did I consider retirement. You know, I was working for my 2004. So I just left big school, and I was working for my uncle in an engineering factory. So I was gutted because my career was like just starting to go okay. I was good. I had a lot of potential, but I hadn't made it. You know, I hadn't got a pro contract, like a salary coming in.
Yeah.
And I was just on the cusp of that, and then that happened. So I thought that was it. I was done for, you know what I mean? So, but luckily the team I was with, they gave me a chance again in 2005, and I did pretty good. And then step by step, made my way to the World Championship.
Brilliant. Brilliant. When you say about breaks there, I had a wee accident myself a few years ago in New York. The breaks didn't work too good, but thankfully it didn't break enough. Tell me this, like for me, it's especially right. Someone who hasn't a clue. I've always wondered this, right? The likes of like Honda and the team you're with now. I cannot say it. Is it Kawasaki?
Kawasaki.
Kawasaki, right? So Honda, Kawasaki, and that's what I'm gonna say, right? To me, a bike's a bike.
Yeah.
Seeing speed and all out there. What are the actual differences? Is it the skill of the rider?
Right. It's a good one because it's hard to not give myself credit here, but not do myself out. I would say racing in superbike right now is 60% what bike you're on and 40% rider.
Yeah.
Because if I rode a shit bike, I'm not going to win. And equally, if you put an average rider on the best bike, he's probably not going to win. So it's a combination, but
makes sense.
You need the balance, and you need to be with a good team.
Yeah, like before we
there's so much. It's not just a bike; it's like software. Like there's so much electronics now. Like you know, when the easiest way to describe it for someone that doesn't understand, right? Most cars now, when you put your foot in the accelerator, there's not a cable that goes to open the throttle. You know, it's like electronic.
Yeah.
And now, like so basically my electronic engineer, every time I open the throttle, we can map every single corner on the circuit to give me exactly what power I want. So we have the most tuned engine we can, but then corner by corner, we have different strategies to make it more easy to open. So there's a lot of thinking going on now. And also when you close the throttle, I'm sure you drove some cars that when you take your foot off the gas, it doesn't just stop straight away. It kind of slows down a little bit. So we can manage all that. So it's pretty it's a bit of thinking man's job now, because electronically we can change so much on the bikes.
That's crazy. I've just personally, I've always wanted to know out there. Like before we can get talking about world titles, you have a record breaking 99 world superbike wins.
Yep.
Like no one has been even remotely close to this. Now, would a 100th win be like a world title?
Yeah, I guess it would be, because just a big round number, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like Carl Fogarty, who was the greatest of all time in superbike racing, he had
like 40 or something.
I think he had 4 world titles and he had 59 race victories, I think. So when I got my 60th in the Czech Republic a few years ago, it was like, man, this is cool, you know. I felt then I had some verification. Like even I had a world title or two. Then I felt like that made it more real that I equaled
Yeah.
one of the greatest of all time in superbike. And yeah, I think hopefully I achieved that 100th win. I mean, I've got one more to do. I feel like it's quite realistic now, but still got to go out and do it. But that'll be unreal when it happens.
Like 6 world titles. Like, does it get harder? Like world title after world title. What keeps you so driven?
Um, I don't really know. You know, it's hard. It's hard because I think you see, growing up here in Northern Ireland, like I was never allowed to get ahead of myself. You know, if you did something, like if I won a race when I was younger and I tried to celebrate on the
Yeah.
cooling down lap, my dad would like, "What are you at?" Like, kind of bring me down a peg or two. Like you're not
That's
allowed
good. That's
to,
good. But
for example, like you see like yeah, like we're almost taught over here you have to suppress your highs, and you see it like it's why I feel like everybody from here is like an underdog straight away.
yeah,
Like the football, rugby, boxing, you always feel like that we underdog, and maybe it's like small country syndrome. I don't know, but it seems like, and this isn't the reason why I'm so driven, but you know, to make it in sport, like we're from a small place, so you can be the best in Ireland really quickly, but you have to travel to the UK and then you have to travel to Europe. And I think you see crossing that Irish Sea just makes you a little bit tougher, you know, because
yeah,
you don't have the luxury of driving home from a race or driving home from a fight in a couple hours and you're home. Like you're slogging it the whole way up the road with your dad in your ear, like telling you what you did right or wrong. And then you're getting a boat home and you're like, it's just harder. So I
yeah.
think when you make it, you're a bit more robust. And you see it, all the motorbike riders from here now, they do so well at the British Championship level as well.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it's to do with our mentality over here a little bit. And yeah, hopefully, but also I think I never get carried away with winning. You always want to be better. So okay,
That's
I've won 6 world titles, but as soon as I won them titles, I was thinking about 2021. So
how many do you think you foresee yourself going for?
uh,
Let's
I've
go
got
for
no
10.
like, no, it's not a number or a championship.
Yeah.
Like I think I've got another 2-year contract with
Okay.
Kawasaki until end of 22. So there's potential for 2 more if I do a good job, but it gets harder, you know. There's like
Yeah.
always new
Of course.
challenges, and I think yeah, but potential's there for 2 more.
Like your team, Kazawaki. I can't say it properly. I'm sorry. Um, what was what? What was the reaction like when you went to the factory in Japan after winning the world title?
I've been there quite a few times. Last year I didn't go because COVID, but
Yeah.
I think it was 2017 was a great year. I won 3 in a row, and they flew me out there and my crew chief, and they just lay it on, you know, fly you out there business class, front of the plane. You feel
Brilliant.
like you made it. And then we got there, and a helicopter came and picked us up and flew me straight into the factory where all the workers were out there to welcome it. It was unreal.
Class.
And I
Class.
realized then like what how big a deal it means to them,
Yeah.
because you don't get to see them race by race. We have maybe 3 engineers that come each race, but when you actually go back to where they make the bikes, and Kawasaki is a bike manufacturer, but bikes is maybe 10% of their company. They
Oh,
specialize in building like bridges, trains, helicopters. Uh, they're like, what they do is unreal. So they've got loads of experience in
yeah.
engineering. They actually build the Boeing, I think it's the 787. It's labeled Rolls Royce, but Kawasaki make it because they've got one of them jet engines inside their reception. It's pretty cool.
Unreal. Unreal. Like obviously you were talking about COVID there. I think it was your last few races. Like, your family wasn't there at them. Like, did that affect you at all?
Um, yeah, I'm pretty lucky. Like I get to travel with them, and we on site at the track. Most riders stay in motorhomes or hotels or whatever, but we've got a cool enough place that I can tag them along with me, and they're not in the way if you like.
Yeah.
So last year they didn't come to any races, so I'd got used to it by the end of the season. But you know, they're the first people you want to see when you come back to like Park Ferme when you win a race or you're on the podium and you come back and you park with your team. Like you want to see your wife and the kids there first
Yeah,
because
I
I
know.
mean they're the ones that see you at home at your when you're having tough days or you're all the sacrifice and training and stuff. Like it's not too easy, but when they're there, it's pretty cool.
Talk to me about MotoGP. Like, were you ever tempted to go in it?
Yeah, I'd love to have had a chance there. To be fair, but I never got a great opportunity. I had a few teams sort of talk with me and my management and stuff, but there was never been um, like a real offer to go there, even on a shit bike, that'll finish at the back. And I feel that I could do a really good job there on the right bike, but
Yeah.
that opportunity is not coming. There's not even the opportunity to go and ride a dunger at the back. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, Kawasaki gave me a chance to ride an awesome bike and super bike, and
Yeah.
maybe it's probably one not regret because I never had the decision to do it, but
Yeah.
I'm a bit frustrated I didn't get that chance, because I feel like I could have done a pretty good job over there given some time.
Now, world champion, super big racer, but is it true that you actually don't have a license to ride a motorbike on a public road?
Nope, nope. In fact, before the first before the first lockdown here in March or like March and April, I just submitted to do my test, and then it got all the centers closed down. I couldn't even do my theory part of it, so that's um that's something I like to do,
How
but
did you feel
for
it?
sure. You imagine you're the tester that failed me. That would have been
My
funny.
God, we wait on it. Like, in 2017, the BBC Sports Personality Awards, you can second behind Mo Farah.
Yeah.
Now, there wasn't too many votes actually splitting this. But given since then,
No.
like, you've went on and you've went on to totally dominate the sport. But I personally, and I think everyone does, know, I think it's ridiculous that you haven't been nominated this year. Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Um. Well, it is what it is. Like they have to diversify, and you have to have people from a broad spectrum. But I think
Yeah.
it showed in 17 that I had really good kudos because people voted for me. I just see when I got nominated, I was a bit worried because I thought I don't want to be last. Like I
Yeah.
didn't really care if I got placed because it was just a good night out at the end of the year. But to be second was mental. And then
Crazy.
like I said before about Kawasaki, when I got there, they just laid it on. I was like, I had like two dudes like chaperoning me around everywhere and make anything I needed. They would look after me. I got, but previous years they had it in Belfast one year. Get this, and they invited me to go there, and I asked for a ticket for my wife. I just won a world championship in 15 or something, and they said no, we don't invite guests. It's just athletes only. So I says, all right, no worries. I didn't go. So 17, they laid it on. I had tickets for all my mates. They were there. And then the following year, I won a championship again, like even 4 times, equal Carl Fogarty. And then I got to the red carpet thing, and nobody really gave a shit about me. You know what I mean? It was like,
Yeah.
it's a strange event. And it's great TV. And I mean, mean, the winners of the past years, they always deserve it.
Yeah.
But it's nice for my sport because it's a small sport, it's a niche sport, to get recognition. But because I had that moment in 17 when I got second, it's I'm not disappointed or anything. It's it is what it is. But it's really cool to hear all the support I get from people at home are all race fans that say I should be nominated. That's really cool because it means that I've got a lot of good support.
100%. 100% you do. What would you say, Johnny, that would be like the lowest moment of your career?
The lowest?
Yeah.
Maybe 2004 when I broke my femur in Scotland that time. That was
So it was near
because the
career.
doctors, yeah, like after the third operation. So I broke it in the middle of the year, and at the end of the year I had my third operation 6 months later, and the doctor said that I couldn't race a bike again because my leg would be so weak and it had so much metal work. Here, actually, you're here. I'm sorry, in my office. This isn't hung on the wall yet. This is quite funny. This was the rod that was in my leg.
Jesus. Some say.
So that was so that was the I'm mounting that on the wall beside so I'm gonna get a nice frame from my world championship medals.
Unreal.
I'm gonna put one in there and I'm gonna put the big nail on one side and then the medal on the other to show you like a little, you've got good times and bad times, but keep pushing. So yeah, probably that femur was the worst.
What would you say would be like the highest moment of your career, the best?
Probably arriving into Japan that time by helicopter. That was
surreal moment.
Honestly, so I was there with my crew chief, and I remember, and a nice fancy hotel and stuff. And I remember going into the hotel, and I checked in and went to my room, and I sat down, and I like had tears in my eyes, just thinking how lucky I am and how fortunate I am to like have this support and be able to like live your dream. Like I wouldn't do it for free, but flip me, it's my hobby that I made my job because I love doing it, and it is hard. Like there's obviously I've paid my dues with like my body and injuries and stuff, but also it's a lot of sacrifice and training. Like I mean, you guys know all about the training. It's non-stop, and everybody's fit. Everybody's takes that side of the job serious now. So it's not old school. You can just turn up on a Saturday and Sunday and like turn it on and do a good job and then party the night away. It's pretty full on. So when you sort of get that recognition and when people look after you, it was like really cool moment then.
Like, tell me, it's like, do you ever get scared before you on a bike because like you're on insane speeds?
Scared. I don't know. Scared. It's the word.
You're probably excited.
Yeah, it's like I do get nervous.
Yeah.
I don't get scared, but I get really nervous, and every race I get nervous, and I think the day I don't get nervous would be like a sign that but yeah, it's like I don't have fear. I've got fear of drowning. That's my only fear, but not I don't have a fear of crashing a bike because we have so much good protective equipment, and the chances of something disastrous happen is quite low, but there's always a chance,
Of course.
Same in your sport, but I think the day you dwell on that too much is you should probably walk away.
That's true. Now again, regarding like driving so fast, like toxic, you're in a race, whatever 100 miles an hour you're going, like it's so intense. So after the race, you're back in the hotel. How do you come down from being at such a high to go back to a low?
It's funny that it's a really funny. It's almost like your personality is like on off.
Yeah.
And over time you just get used to it. like the hardest thing was 2 years ago I won the championship in France, and I won the championship, had this huge high. It was one of the ones I didn't come home for. On the Sunday night, all my team left to go back to their base in Barcelona. So I'm sat as world champion by myself, well, not with my assistant and coach in my motorhome, being like, is this it? You know, he was like, you're here, like winning a world title like 4 hours ago, and then you're sat like watching Netflix in the motorhome, like like normal, you know. It's so strange. But I think you just get used to it, you know.
Yeah. What's next for Johnny Rea?
No idea. Keep racing. I think I think I'm in my prime now. And I'm learning so much more about me, like as an athlete, about I'm enjoying the technical side of the bike now. So I'm getting more invested in that, trying to improve things. And then let's see the next 2 years what happens. I've signed like a multi-year agreement with Kawasaki, which means, you know, we can, yeah, I think I'll retire there. You know, that's but whether that's in end of 22 or the end of 23 or 4, you know, who knows? But I think I just want to keep enjoying things, because when I take the pressure away and I enjoy it, I'm been riding incredible.
Yeah,
I've got a good bunch of guys with me, you know, like it's a really, see from my team, they're all Spanish, and they speak perfect English, but they're like all best friends. They're such good people.
nice.
Right from my crew chief, all the mechanics, the the data guys that work on the computers and stuff. Then all the management side of things are great.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's pretty cool.
Class, that's class. Like, we're gonna do a quick fire round here, okay? 5 questions. If you could choose a different sport, what would it be?
Football.
Football. Do you have who would you say is your greatest rival?
Probably a guy called Chaz Davis.
Charles Davis. What was he from? America?
He was my big rival. He's a Welsh dude from 2015 to now, probably even not the last 2 years, but he's been the guy that we've had the most battles with probably in my career.
Was he the guy who was leading the Polar? Was it last season for a while?
No, that's a Spanish guy, Alvaro Bautista.
Okay, yeah, because I just remember reading about that there actually.
Uh,
do you have any pre-race superstitions?
I always put my left glove on before my right. That's about it.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite quote or a favorite saying?
Not really. Dream, believe, achieve. I like that.
Yeah, I like that. Who's your favorite sports person, past or present?
Good question, that, because all sports would have to be a motorbike rider called Kevin Swantz, an American guy. He was like super cool. Yeah. He was he won the 500 Grand Prix championship in 93 and 4. He was a good dude and good friend now. He's a good guy.
Oh, brilliant. Danny, before you go, there was someone, now I can't remember some girl asked, some woman, like, she was like about 80 years maybe, asked me for your autograph, so I have to get off you next time to get our haircuts.
Yeah. Hi man, whenever we get back to that, it's like life's so strange at the minute.
I know, it's terrible. So this
so I'm like missing so much about normal life. It's strange, you know, just like the freedom we have before, like just being able to go out for a meal or something.
Exactly, for a meal with your friends, doing normal stuff, just.
But I mean, the good thing about it, honestly, is I feel it's probably prolonged my career, because you see the first lockdown, like they delayed the start of my season last year, and I think without that, you'd have been not burnt out, but it gave me a really good break to sort of get refocused and it lit the fire even more, you know. But yeah, normally our season starts in February, but they're talking about end of April now, and I'm so ready now. Like I've put in the work. I started my sort of training December like I normally would, so I'm 2 months early. I'm at like perfect weight and feeling great. So
good head start anyway.
I'm got a good start on things.
Burn it. Well, Johnny, I wish you all success for the coming years, and thanks very much for coming on PaddyCast. Burning stuff.
No worries, mate. Good luck with everything. And I'll see you for a haircut pretty soon, hopefully.